Hi, we're live. Thanks for tuning in to the FunkShop TV Daily Shit Show. The Daily Funk. With me and Sean. I'm Biggs. That's Sean. We're just talking about, like, how to grow your channel and stuff, and Sean's mad at me because I don't want to do any video editing, but I'm going to force myself to do it because Anthony and Tom and Francisco and Dwayne and Michael and anybody that's a part of this cast besides me and Sean don't seem to have a whole lot of drive. So when it comes time for us to make millions of dollars, because FunkShop TV is a huge success in the podcast and video world, we get to keep all the money to ourselves. How you doing, Sean?
Fine. Nothing special.
Just another day. Thank God it's Friday.
I got 2 days off.
Yes. Are we gonna go live for Christmas Eve and Christmas?
I don't know. I mean, we could. Well, probably not Christmas. At least not at 10 a.m.
Okay.
I don't even know what day that is.
I put them on the schedule, but it's Tuesday.
I still have to finish Christmas shopping.
Fuck Christmas shopping. I'm not doing any of that stuff.
Yeah, well.
I'm wearing a Seahawks Santa hat. This is about as Christmas spirit as you're going to get out of me this year. I don't like...
Except this 8-bit music.
That too. But. Happy birthday, Anthony. It's Anthony's birthday. He's in our group chat whining that he just woke up.
Yeah, I was going to say, just woke up.
Wah. It's not like you do anything with your life anyways, Anthony.
He drives to Portland back and forth for no apparent reason.
Yeah, for what?
I don't know what he does, but...
I don't understand.
He complains about the traffic, which isn't that bad. It really isn't.
Then don't go to Portland. It's not like you got a job.
I'm sure he has... Oh, I have an appointment.
I have to chauffeur somebody. Well, are they paying you to do it? Then quit bitching.
I drove in Portland all the time. I drive way more in Portland than you do, Mr. Anthony.
I honestly wish I had a reason to drive to Portland more often. I like driving to Portland. The traffic doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, traffic around Portland. I mean, traffic can suck at times, but it's not. There's not ever a point where it's like even comparable to like Los Angeles or Toronto's way worse than even Los Angeles.
Yeah, or even Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle shit. And Anthony's supposedly from the Seattle area. He's bitching about Portland traffic.
I mean,
get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot worse. Oh, try New York City.
Yeah.
Where you can do Postmates on your feet.
New Jersey. So yesterday, we talked about the GoFundMe for Trump's wall.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember how much it was by the time we were, like, it was probably about 11 a.m. And when we looked at it?
Yeah.
It was 5.9 million.
What's that, 10 million now?
Let's check and see what the update is.
Oh, you don't know?
Well, it keeps going up and 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 going up. It's crazy. Oh my Lanta. Up to 12,408,542.
Yeah, you only have 988 million or 87.5 million.
But
there's you're not even close to where they need to be to build that thing. They're not going to get there. Like $1 billion. How many people are in the U.S.? Like, is it 300 million?
Look at some of these, dude. $100, $100, $10, $20, $100, $50. I want to go find all of these people.
I'm sure
like
some
of them are anonymous, but I want to look up like these names and just go and bait them into coming into Twitch and be like, look, I won't talk shit about Donald Trump if you donate $100, because obviously these guys have a lot of money to just throw away. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. And it still isn't clear where the money's going to go if it's not going to building the wall.
They're gonna. You know what's funny is they're gonna be like, all right, we raised enough money, and then they put up a chain link fence.
Well, and is this Brian Kolfage guy going to legally be allowed to take a percentage as his handling fees?
I have no idea.
I mean, what
it says in the thing?
What are going to be the legalities behind this?
I don't think he's allowed to take. It depends on what it says in the description, but I don't think he.
It says, I have a verified blue check Facebook page as a public figure. I'm a Purple Heart recipient, triple amputee veteran.
If he doesn't say he's taking a percentage, then I don't think he can legally. I mean,
it'd be fraud, I have no idea. I would think it would be fraud.
I mean, previous cases would say that. I would think.
It's just so goofy to me that so many people have donated. But the reason I brought it up, obviously I want to see where the money was at, because I haven't checked it since last night. I can't believe it's more than doubled since we talked about it yesterday.
See, we're promoting it.
But there is a GoFundMe launched to pay for Trump's border wall. We were talking about setting up some sort of counter GoFundMe. There is one. Counter campaign to buy ladders created in response to border wall fundraiser.
How much money is that up to?
I'll check in a second. Earlier this week, a GoFundMe account was set up to help raise money to fund President Donald Trump's border wall. The fundraiser was started by Purple Heart medal recipient Brian Kolfage. $11 million has been raised so far. As we've seen, it's way over $11 million now.
What's up, Heidi?
Howdy, Heidi. It gets returned. Yeah, we'll see. However, there's another GoFundMe account that's been created to counter this fundraiser called Ladders to Get Over Trump's Wall. The counter fundraiser was created by Charlotte Clymer. Counter fundraiser has raised $74,000 in one day. The goal is to raise $100 million. If that goal is not met, the funds generated will be donated to Refugee and Immigrant Center for Educational and Legal Services, a Texas-based 501c nonprofit agency that promotes justice by providing free and low-cost legal services to underserved immigrant children, families, and refugees. So at least it says where the money's going if they're not going to buy ladders to get over the wall.
I mean, they're really not going to actually buy ladders, clearly, but...
Right.
One would hope that they don't, because that would be a giant waste of money. Could you imagine $100 million worth of ladders purchased? Talk about shit show that. You know, You know, that wouldn't really surprise me.
So the ladder campaign is at $85,336 so far.
Let's do our own too. Let's set one up.
It's not an illegal activity if it says specifically where the money is going to go. It makes it absolutely clear where the donations are going to go to. So no, that is not illegal. What could be construed as illegal is not saying where the money is going to go if it's not going to building the wall. So there could be some discrepancies there, but I'm sure Trump's attorney team is going to be behind that 100%.
Yeah, that money will just disappear anyway.
Yeah, it's going to go to Russia.
Or Trump's wallet.
I doubt it'll go to Trump's wallet, but...
I mean, that'd be a really big wallet.
He could probably use it for attorney fees.
Can he get that paid in dollar bills?
It's got to be paid in 50-cent pieces.
No, I'm talking about the ladders. No, because she said it had... The person said that
the person that
going
put up
to different charity.
Right, the person that put up the post for the ladders made it clear that where the money is really going to go to.
The ladders is just a joke to get people's attention.
Page says, we saw some folks who are raising money for a border wall to keep our migrant siblings and fellow human beings who are fleeing violence and persecution and whose tragically underpaid labor is essential to the U.S. economy. Seems like a bad idea on countless levels for everyone involved. Maybe we should focus on human rights and creating a community that reflects our supportive values. Even though at a rate of $1.7 million daily, it would take their fund about 35 years to raise the $21.7 billion that Trump's own Department of Homeland Security says it would be needed to build the wall. We want to make sure ladders are ready to send over to our undocumented friends and help them. Here, I'll post the link. It's pretty comical. I still think that we should have done one. Let's start a GoFundMe that's to buy shovels to dig tunnels underneath the wall.
Good idea.
And then we'll put in the description, after handling and processing fees, any money that isn't used to buy shovels will be donated to whatever foundation. So if we put the disclaimer in there, it should be legally bound, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm doing that today.
Are you though?
Nope, because I don't want to deal with illegalities.
See, that's what I'm saying right there. Gotta swing for the fences if you want to hit the home run. You're not gonna bunt your way to the home run title.
Yeah, well, I don't want to swing for the fences and end up in jail either.
I mean, go big or go home.
I'll go home.
Okay.
I'll go home. I am home. And I am big. So, I've got the best of both worlds, bro.
I'm just saying.
KPTV put out a news story yesterday. Let's see. This was posted on CNN. Oh, from Brooklyn. The headline reads, Bank apologizes for calling police on black man trying to cash his paycheck. CNN, an African-American man who couldn't cash his paycheck at a Huntington bank in Brooklyn, Ohio, says the staff was judging him. Paul McCown's 30 told CNN affiliate WOIO he recently got a new job and was trying to cash his first paycheck earlier this month, but the tellers wouldn't cash the check, which was just over $1,000. Although McCown didn't specify he was being racially profiled, social media has picked up on the hashtag banking while black upon hearing about the incident. The hashtag is very similar to those seen in the past, such as hashtag barbecuing while black, hashtag babysitting while black, and hashtag campaigning while black, which were coined after a white person called the police on black people while they were seen doing day-to-day activities. As he was leaving the bank empty-handed, McCown's was met by Brooklyn police, handcuffed and placed in the back of the cruiser. When McCown's asked what was happening, the officer said the bank's teller had called 911. I have a customer here. He's not our customer, actually. He's trying to cash a check, and the check is fraudulent. It does not match our records, a bank employee said on a recording on the 911 call obtained by CNN. McCown's doesn't bank with Huntington, and its staff was not able to reach his employer at first, but he followed bank protocol and provided the tellers with 2 forms of identification and a fingerprint. The bank still declined to cash his check. It was highly embarrassing, McCown's told WOIO. The person who made that phone call, the manager, that teller, whoever made that phone call, I feel as though they were judging. The Brooklyn Police Department said in a statement that McCown's was released once officers reached his employer and confirmed with the account holder the check was valid.
So that's funny is we've experienced that in the past when we were doing checks at one point, like my business. And Bank of America wouldn't okay. This is funny. So I go in in the morning to deposit money for the checks, like the payroll, and I'm there with my manager at the time, and he's trying to cash his check, and his check's like over $1,000, and they wouldn't cash his check. They're like, we have to check to see if it's like, literally, I'm standing in the lobby. I came in with him. We're both wearing Rainy Day Ice Cream shirts, and they were like having to verify that his check was good, and then the signatures matched, and like all this nonsense, like one excuse after another. I'm like, I'm right here. My name's on the account. I'm the business owner. Give him the money. Like, I literally just gave you like $15,000 in cash 20 seconds ago. Like, really? Like, it was like this. That's why we left that bank. That was Bank of America, by the way.
Right.
So fuck Bank of America.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all.
That's one of the reasons we left. We're like, fuck you. We're closing the account. Like, we're closing our business account.
I have heard so many horror stories about Bank of America. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Bank of America and U.S. Bank. You couldn't pay me money to bank with either of those pieces.
So in this article, to continue, it says, according to police statement, the bank branch has had more than 10 arrests for fraudulent checks since July 18th, and a bank representative told WOIO that was why the tellers were being, quote-unquote, hyper-vigilant.
Or racist.
I wonder how many of those fraudulent checks that people were arrested for, how many of them were black people?
Probably all of them, or there might be like 30% Mexican in there.
I'm just curious.
Or Hispanic. Sorry.
I'd like to see those statistics.
There's probably one, because you have to have one white guy or girl. You have to have some sort of diversity.
Yeah.
So, you know, they got profile diversity.
Did you read Defense Secretary Jim Mattis's goodbye letter? No. His resignation letter?
No, I was gonna bring up satellites that the FCC just fined this telecommunication company, well, their internet company that just shot satellites into space, and they didn't have permission to shoot satellites in space, so the FCC fined them $900 million. Or no, 900,000. 900,000, I meant to say. Yeah. Wow.
I do think fault lies with tellers not being properly trained. And I get that it's not uncommon to need to verify authenticity of checks, but when somebody has two forms of ID, gives their fingerprint, you could obviously say we can't get a hold of you. Don't have an account with us. We can't get a hold of your employer at this time. Try back later. To call the police and have the person handcuffed when they walk out of the bank, that's a little excessive.
Since when did they start calling the employer to verify?
It's really not that uncommon anymore. Just because bank fraud is so common. Check fraud is very common.
I'm trying to think if I ever got a call, maybe once.
To verify?
Yeah. And what's funny that same thing kept happening to Jason, the manager that we had at the time. It he would go into different banks to try to cash his check, and it would be like this 30-minute ordeal.
Why didn't he just open an account?
Because he didn't want an account with Bank of America. He's like, I don't want an account with you because you guys suck ass. Just cash my check. I'm out of Bank of America. It's your check. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want a personal account in Bank of America.
Heidi said typically what's supposed to happen is the employer is supposed to upload a file of check numbers to the bank. I didn't know that.
Well, we got our checks from the bank, so.
Right, but probably a file of written checks.
Oh.
Like how much was
they
written,
never asked us for that.
I've never seen them ask for that either, but.
I mean, maybe That's probably more for like bigger businesses, I would think.
Yeah.
But maybe. I don't know. I've never had to do that.
So, CNET. This was posted yesterday. FCC slapped satellite startup with $900,000 fine over unauthorized launch. The company ignored an FCC decision to launch 4 tiny satellites earlier this year.
The picture I saw of the satellites, they were like this big.
Really?
Yeah. So
like Frisbee size?
Yeah, they were worried they couldn't track them. And then they would FCC was worried that they were going to have a hard time, that our systems would have a hard time tracking them, so that they would risk of crashing into other satellites or, space station or whatever.
I just said correct. You're a smaller business, Sean. You are a smaller business,
I am.
Sean.
I am not big enough yet.
You don't run a smaller business, and you don't own a smaller business. You are a smaller business.
That is also correct.
Smaller business is what you are.
Tiny.
Startup to launch satellites without permission is getting fined nearly $1 million. The Federal Communications Commission said on Thursday it has settled with Swarm Technologies over the unauthorized launch and operation of the company's small satellites. Swarm will pay $900,000 and is required to submit pre-launch notices to the commission going forward, the FCC said in a statement. Settlement comes almost a year after the Silicon Valley startup launched satellites without authorization. In December 2017, the FCC denied Swarm's authorization to launch 4 of its tiny satellites because the vehicles are so small they couldn't be detected or tracked by the U.S. Space Surveillance Network. That meant they could possibly hit other spacecraft in orbit and cause significant damage. Swarm went ahead and launched the satellites in January. The satellites were meant to demonstrate the company's technology, which it said could reduce the cost of satellite communications for billions of connected devices. Oh, these things are smaller than what you depicted, bro. Here's a picture.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like hand size. FCC found that Swarm also illegally transmitted signals, performed unlawful weather balloon to ground station tests, and other equipment tests, according to FCC's release. We will aggressively enforce the FCC's requirements. The companies seek FCC authorization prior to deploying and operating communications satellites and Earth stations, Rosemary Harold, chief of the FCC's Enforcement Bureau, said in a release. These important obligations protect other operators against radio interference and collisions, making space a safer place to operate. So when you check in with the FCC to see if you can launch your satellite, do they have some sort of diagram that depicts which path your satellite is going to travel?
Oh yeah, you have to like all that stuff. You have to. I know that you have to. It has to be on a certain path, and there's a whole thing as far as it has to.
Does the FCC regulate that?
It doesn't just fly randomly around. It has to be on a very specific.
Well, and these guys don't launch the satellites. How do they launch them? Swarm.
They launch them in a rocket. They send them up with some other company, like somebody like SpaceX or whoever.
And they just kind of
put them out there. I mean, there's obviously
I don't know how they work.
Deployment process, but one of the things that they want to do, I read about a year ago or so ago, launching really tiny satellites. They're like size of a quarter or so, deep space satellites. So they'd be sent, thousands of these satellites would be sent out into deep space or out towards the outer solar system kind of thing.
Okay.
For scientific measurements, and so that way cover much more ground and go different places, and
right.
Much more fit, and then just beam back their shit, which is kind of cool. That we can develop satellites that are super small like that.
I don't understand how a satellite would stay on its intended path. Yeah.
Well, once you put it out in a direction, it just keeps going until it hits something.
That's what I thought.
In space, yeah. There's a lot of emptiness in space.
Yeah, a lot. An infinite amount of emptiness in space. I don't think there's any walls.
Probably not. Not that we know of.
So, let's say Swarm puts these little...
Those ones are not... The ones I'm talking about, or those really small ones, aren't from the same company. They're different thing altogether. But
if Swarm put these 4 satellites out there, Are they supposed to orbit?
Yeah, they orbit Earth.
How do they orbit Earth?
So, like, basically all an orbit is you send it in a direction, like, next to Earth at a speed. So the gravity of Earth is going to pull the satellite towards down. So all you're doing...
So it's basically the gravity is going to treat it like it's a moon, essentially.
Yeah, that's all orbit is.
Okay.
Orbit is just you falling, but you're also traveling horizontally at a pace that you never actually hit the planet. So if you were to fire a bullet fast enough, technically speaking, I don't know what the speed is, but there's a certain speed. If you fire it fast enough, it'll come back eventually and hit you in the back of the head. Because if it can maintain that speed, obviously there's atmosphere and everything else, so it's gonna wind drag and slow down. But say you didn't have an atmosphere, you just shot a bullet, and if it was going fast enough, it would just come back and hit you.
Not possible.
It is if you didn't have an atmosphere.
Or mountain ranges.
Well, yeah, if nothing's in the way. Obviously, like, if nothing is physically in the way. But, or say you were on top of Mount Everest. You shot the bullet, and there was no atmosphere to slow the bullet down. Then it would go, and at a certain speed, it wouldn't either break away from Earth, and it also wouldn't hit Earth. It would just come back around. So it would be constantly falling into you. So that's why orbit works. That's how satellites go around. Okay.
I didn't realize it, I never cared to pay attention. Didn't realize satellites stayed in orbit. There's got to be so many of them, though. How are they not clashing with each other?
So much shit in space.
Yeah.
There's, I think, several 100,000 or million, maybe not a million, I think it's several 100,000 now, like, pieces of space junk floating around or orbiting Earth. Like, there's actually a website you can go to track. There's a website that you can track all the space junk.
NORAD is tracking over 22,000 satellites and pieces of junk larger than a basketball that are in Earth orbit.
Yeah, there's actual website you can go and check.
Heidi, the Earth is flat. That's why Sean's bullet theory would never work, because if you fire a bullet, it's just going to keep going in a straight line. It's not going to wrap around anything, because the Earth doesn't wrap around. It's flat.
Yeah, sure it is.
It's flat.
That's why I, could see Seattle from here.
Well, it has mountains.
Okay, why can't I see what's the big mountain up by Seattle? Mount
Rainier?
Rainier. Yeah, why can't I see Mount Rainier?
Because we have mountains in our way.
No, that mountain's higher than much higher than anything between us and that. So why can't I see Mount Rainier?
Because sometimes you can't even see Mount Hood.
But on a perfectly clear day,
there's too much haze in the air. There's no such thing as a perfectly clear day to see that far. There's too much smog.
So where does that smog go to, or stay? Why does it move around?
Because people are killing the rainforest, so the smog's trying to figure out what other.
But if the Earth's not round, why does the smog move at all? Why does clouds move?
Because we still have wind.
But where's the wind come from?
Outer space.
Yeah, it doesn't work. There's no wind in outer space.
Yeah, there is.
No, there isn't. It's a vacuum.
Well, just like you think the Earth is round, you're not perfect.
There's no flat Earth. The arguments for flat Earth are the stupidest thing in the world.
The Earth is flat.
At least I know you're kidding.
You know how many times I've put it out there that we're trying to find a flat earther to come on the show and explain to us why the Earth is flat? Still can't do it.
Or the look it up, bro. Look it up. That's the argument.
No, I don't want to watch somebody's fucking YouTube explanation. I want somebody to come sit here and try to convince us why they believe the Earth is flat.
But I'm just saying, if you could have arguments and if they don't know the answer, they're just gonna be like, do your research.
Right. That's all they ever say. Look it up. Fuck you. I don't want to look it up. I want you to come on the show and try to explain to me why you think the fucking Earth is flat.
There's about 1 billion reasons why the Earth is not flat.
Yeah.
There's many basic experiments you can do.
No, I agree. I'm with you, bro. I'm not arguing with that. Okay? I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Heidi said, you're racist. Fucking flat Earth.
I'm racist.
I hate white people.
What?
What does racist have to do with flat Earth?
Yeah.
Well, billions of years ago, we were all created as Africans. But since the Earth is flat, it made it easier for people to migrate to different parts of this giant square.
We evolved from what?
Well, and you know where
modern Africa.
You know where the term cracker comes from, right? Like the racist term cracker. It's the people that evolved from Africa and then moved to other parts of this giant square platform that we live on, and it made their skin pale. So they're the ones that went to the outer edge of the flat Earth, and that's why they become crackers.
I quit. That hurt my brain. I think I lost like 5 IQ points.
We live on this giant square. Like a giant, think of the bathroom.
Giant cracker?
Like a bathroom tile, but much bigger.
Yeah.
And it's infinite.
But the other planets are round.
It's infinite.
And they rotate around us on this 2,000-year-old bathroom tile.
Yes. We're really all just germs on a bathroom tile. That's why we have natural disasters, because sometimes somebody mops the floor.
That Noah sailed on.
Yeah. Well, there's puddles in the bathroom on a regular basis.
But wait, wasn't Noah like way before Christ? So
no.
When did Noah exist? According to the Bible, I thought it was like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. See, their timeline is all fucked up. I'm just saying.
Well, biblical timeline it's not that it's necessarily fucked up. It's just that
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But then again, God created heaven and earth in 7 days, or on 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. But a day then was much, much longer than a day today, or much shorter. One of the two. It wasn't necessarily on the same 24-hour clock that we have.
Because he evolved around the universe as opposed to
correct
revolving around the sun.
Because even in like
this is the stupidest fucking
in BC times, people lived to be 300, 400 years old.
So they say. I call bullshit. So much bullshit.
Like Noah had 120 years warning before the Great Flood.
Oh, isn't that nice? That's a really fucking good weatherman.
Noah was born in 2928 BC and was 480 years old when God asked him to build a ship to save all the animals.
What's that date again?
2928 BC.
2928 BC.
2,928 years before Christ.
So about 3,000 years. So on top, so we're talking like about 5,000 years ago.
Yes.
I thought the Earth was only like 2,000 years old. According to many, or I shouldn't say many, I should say some religious
the
beliefs.
Oldest rocks on Earth found to date are the Acosta Genesis.
I'm not talking scientifically speaking. Obviously, we know the Earth really isn't 2,000 years old or 5,000 years old.
4.03
billion years old. Yeah. So somebody's wrong.
Well, in those billions of years, could have been a 2 days in God's lifetime.
This is like the same argument as flat Earth. The same reasoning.
I wouldn't compare the two. We can't wrap our mind around
Did you say we can't wrap our dicks around?
a day. I was gonna say day.
Oh, okay.
We can't wrap our mind around a day longer than 24 hours because it doesn't make any sense in our modern life. But we have no idea how long.
We can wrap our mind on longer days. Like, not like the general populace, like that's what they're used to, of course.
Maybe the Earth didn't rotate.
And actually,
as fast
technically
back
speaking, the Earth does not take 24 hours to go around one rotation. A day is not actually 24 hours, technically speaking.
How long is it?
It's, I believe...
I wasn't going to say dicks.
It's slightly shorter, I think. Leap year to jump ahead.
So based on that...
Yeah, so it's like 23 hours and like 50-something minutes, I think.
Well,
technically speaking.
Based on that logic, wouldn't we have to fast forward a few minutes every 25 years or so?
That's why we have leap year every 4 years.
Oh.
That's why the leap year exists, to reset the time. Because we actually lose or gain. I think we lose. I think we lose like a few minutes every day.
I just said splitting hairs. Look, splitting hairs is what we do on Fridays because we just talked about so much other shit this week that we're at the point where we're just like debating for fun. I don't necessarily believe the shit coming out of my mouth.
I believe everything that comes out of my mouth. Like most things.
Do you believe everyone that comes in your mouth too?
No, definitely not. Sometimes you just gotta, nod your head and go, sure, get on with it.
Happy Friday, everybody. This is what we do on Fridays. We've ran out of news to talk about, or we just don't want to talk about news anymore.
I had something else. Okay. Here we go.
I was really going to go in depth with General Mattis, but I don't want to. You're like, oh. Hey, Mom, happy Friday.
Oh, so an airport in, where's that? UK somewhere? In London. Had to cancel a full day of flights because somebody was flying a drone around the airport.
Merry Christmas, Heidi. Thank you.
Yeah, so there's a
whole day of flights were canceled?
Yeah, and I think a little bit more past that too. But somebody was flying a drone around. So if you're a drone pilot, don't be a fucking retard and fly your drone near an airport. Like, not only is it dangerous, but you're gonna literally do you not want to ever have the option of flying a drone ever again? Like in some countries, that's pretty much what happens now anyway. But like, as far as the U.S. and places like the U.S., like we actually can fly drones. Don't be a retard and fly your drone in an airport or near an airport. Like, pay attention to what's around you. Jesus. This is the kind of assholes that, like, do things that, like,
funk
screw up everything for everybody else.
I forgot to turn on chatbot. Whoops. Yeah, it only takes one or two bad people, or one or two stupid ideas. Holy shit.
What?
So I'm just browsing other channels on Twitch because I'm bored with our own channel right now, so I want to see who else is on. I'm just kidding. I like to compare and see like who's got who's viewers. There are 12 viewers right now watching live the Alex Jones show. InfoWars.
They brought InfoWars to Twitch.
He's on Twitch.
All right, so let's promote that so you can get kicked off of there with his lizard people.
Fucking idiot!
You know, like, I used to be like, just let him do whatever, but like, he's gone off the deep end.
Oh, bad.
Like, he's like, you know who he's kind of like, but just a little bit more?
Yeah, that's 12 too many.
You know who he's like, but just like scaled up 2 or 3 times? Somebody we know? Who do we know in our personal lives that's like Alex Jones?
Stewart?
Not like the conspiracy theory side of shit, but just the personality.
Yeah.
Because Stewart's not really like generally conspiracy theory, but like
Very
if he
dramatic.
was, he would be Alex Jones.
I could see that a little bit. Heidi said me.
She is dramatic.
Heidi, you look like Alex Jones, but I haven't ever heard you talk, so I can't say that I mean, I don't mean that you look like Alex. Did I say that out loud?
Are you practicing typing your name,
Son
Heidi?
of a bitch.
Typed your own name.
I see that. Well, Alex Jones likes to say his own name over and over.
Does he? I didn't really notice.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention. It was
He's
kind of
weirdo, dude.
It's kind of. Did you ever see the podcast with him and Joe Rogan? He was on Joe Rogan's podcast like a year or two ago.
No.
A year ago, maybe. Like before everything like crashed down. Like, I guess they're friends, like Joe Rogan and like to a degree.
Joe Rogan and Alex Jones?
Yeah, and he's talked about him quite a bit. Like he's out there. That's for like for sure. Like I don't agree with everything he says. He's like, it's kind of fun to hang out with, like, I guess they've hung out and, like, gone to, like, Vegas and shit together or done things, but it's, kind of funny.
That's interesting.
Joe Rogan has, like, a very broad,
diverse
group of friends and people that he talks to.
Yeah, that's true.
Heidi's in love with Joe Rogan, I think.
All right.
Right, Heidi?
Oh.
But yeah, don't fly your drones in airports or near airports. Don't do it. I want to keep flying my drone.
Where did that happen?
In London. London's Gatwick Airport. Mysterious drone that was spotted repeatedly in the area. Flying drones near the airport is illegal. Flights unable to take off and land due to possible collisions. They're looking for the operator. Haven't found him yet.
Wow.
Doesn't say like what. I don't know if it says what size, what kind of drone it was, or how big or anything. I mean, I feel like most small drones aren't going to cause any kind of significant damage to an airplane. But I mean, that being said, if it does happen to like get unluckily sucked into like or get put into an engine or something, I mean, it could cause some problems for sure.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm not saying you should go flying drones in airports.
So do you know the show's schedule between now and Christmas? That must be my dad. Dad is on Mom's computer right now. We do not. I'm sure we will be on sometime Sunday evening for the What the Funk, the variety shit show with whoever shows up. We're not quite sure about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday yet.
Well, probably Christmas Eve. Probably not Christmas Day.
Christmas Day is Tuesday.
Unless it's like, it won't be at 10 a.m., I can tell you that.
Heidi said, I feel like the show could benefit from some 50360 personalities. I'm not going to disagree with that. There's probably a few times we should get some 503 personalities involved. But there are a lot of 50360 personalities that should probably never leave their house. There's this one girl named Heidi. Oh, she's a shit show.
You should definitely have her on.
Dad, back to your question. I'm sure we will be live Sunday night sometime. Probably Monday at 10 a.m. for Christmas Eve. And maybe even Christmas Day at some point or other during the day. Drones for observations on border wall would be better than a wall. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Even Heidi said true that. See? Some of those people should not be allowed in public. Heidi hot sauce included. I'm just kidding. God, I'm just in an ornery mood today.
Yeah, Paul started off the day basically cussing me out.
I was not.
He was cussing me out.
That is not true.
Like 30 minutes.
Oh, that is not true.
I almost cried.
Not true at all. Yes, Sunday night is the Seahawks and Chiefs, so after the game, we'll be going live. We have a crew meeting on Sundays now, and actually last weekend it was very productive. Like almost the whole team was here.
Yeah.
Tom doesn't count.
And most people have made an effort to make videos actually so far.
Right?
And actually, like, for instance,
Sunday during the day we can go on before the Hawks game. Actually, I think Anthony has claimed 5 p.m. Sunday for some political stuff. But Dad, if you want to come and join that, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all.
Yeah, come chat with us.
I've been trying, and I'm sure he's got an extensive list of notes and detail ready for his appearance on FunkShop TV, but he doesn't want to say anything that he can't back up factually. It's not.
So one of the things that, like, when you're unsure of something,
I've had a bad
clarify
2 weeks.
Not quantify.
Last 2 weeks it's just been pain in my butt.
What the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Not quantify.
Verify?
No. Like when you say, you're like, I'm not totally sure about this. You're like, this is my opinion. I'm not 100% sure on these facts. I'd have to, but there's a word for that. Qualify? Is that the right word I'm looking for that? I don't know. Maybe somebody smarter than me can tell me. Because I am not smart when it comes to language.
Especially on Fridays.
Especially, period.
We've talked so much over the last week about all kinds of topics. So my dad wants to get involved in a podcast, but I'm sure his notes are extensive, and he was supposed to come on last week, and he called in a rain check and said, I'm just not ready. I tried to explain to him. I said, Dad, a podcast is opinion based. We can talk about whatever. You can sit here and make up the biggest BS in the whole world.
And your opinion can change and morph. Like, I mean,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you put forth what information or opinions that you have, and like a week later, be like, oh, I have this new information. My opinion has changed based on this new information.
Politically, I've changed a lot just over the last year and a half, 2 years. I remember season 1, if we would have had a show about the First Amendment, I would have said everybody can say anything in the world because free speech is protected and it does not matter. There's no boundaries. And I would have said everybody should have whatever kind of guns they want because we have the Second Amendment. But now on both of those, I'm way, way, way drawn back. I believe freedom of speech, but
I'm still closer to the to say whatever you want. I think the world is way too fucking soft.
I think it's become too soft, but at the same time,
like,
I have the freedom to not be oppressed. So if somebody's going to come at me with oppressive language, that is imposing on my freedom. So with freedoms come rights. With rights come responsibilities. So you have to exercise your responsibilities. You don't have the freedom to go into a library and scream obscenities.
Oh yeah,
that's against the law.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if it's against the law, but it's definitely like obstructing other people's.
Dad said, "What do you guys mean soft?" It's become oversensitive. People like Kevin Hart taking himself off of the Oscars because of a joke that he put out 9 years ago on Twitter is absolutely ridiculous. He shouldn't. He's a comedian. When we draw lines, we are. I understand there's certain lines that shouldn't be crossed, but now everybody identifies as something, so no matter what you say, somebody could be offended. I could say that the earth is... Somebody who thinks the earth is flat is ridiculously minded, uninformed dingbat that just does not pay attention to science or technology. And that's going to offend somebody. No matter what we say, somebody could be offended. So
I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast yesterday as I was driving around. He had a guest on by the name of Gad Saad, Gadsaad. He's a professor. And he's been on several
there are
times.
lines that come with freedom of speech. There are definite boundaries.
He was making some very interesting points about like people being offended, people being just a lot of points about this stuff. And one of the things he was saying, how far are we gonna go? Like, we always joke about like, I identify as a squirrel and stuff.
Right.
And there's like an actual person like trying to legally change their age. Because they
identify different.
Yeah, they identify as younger guys so they can get girls. So instead of being 60, he wants to be 40 or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
And then, what was he? What did he say? He said something. Oh, my brain is trying to remember. Like, listen to a 3-hour conversation.
Kevin does think his decision to pull out of the Oscars is ridiculous, but he did it to avoid controversy and avoid it turning into something much bigger. He even said that on. He put out a video on Instagram and explained why he did it, and made it clear that it's to avoid controversy, even though he still thinks that people are being way too sensitive about shit.
Okay, so there's an actual person, another person that he.
By the way, Oprah turned it down.
Oh, good.
After Kevin pulled out.
There was somebody trying to enter a different weight class in, like, I think it was a combat sport or of some sort.
Okay.
And they said they had to. They're like, you're being transgravity.
I don't know much
transgravity.
About
like, they were just talking about, like, where do we draw the line? Where, like, so you can. He was making very good points. Like, you can believe and behave, like, you can live your life however you want to, but forcing other people to your will, to call you things, to treat you like something that you really aren't, like, you can live as a woman and be born as a man, or vice versa, or whatever variation that you want to be called, that you want to feel like you are.
Right.
But I am forcing me to call you something that makes me uncomfortable. Where don't I have rights in how I feel about a situation? Or, like, why should I have to call you a fucking lizard man? Like, I'm like, you're not a lizard man. Like,
so if we go to Disneyland, there's a lot of rides that I won't be allowed to get on because of how large I am.
Yeah. So you could be like,
can I just be like, look, I identify as a 150 pounder today. Let me on.
Yeah. I identify as small. Because, like, right. I mean, it's like infringing on other people's. This behavior is infringing on other people's, like, rights. That is so
ridiculous to me. Ridiculous.
Transgravity. It's a real thing.
I don't care if it's a safety issue or not. Okay. I identify as a light person today. You can't stop me because it's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel fabulous. Fabulously 150 pounds.
You can, like... but there's really things, like, you're either a guy or a girl, unless you actually are one of the very, very small percentage of people that have both genetic genomes or you know, deformities in your genetics that cause you to be outside the norm. Doesn't mean you should be treated any worse. Like, you shouldn't be, like, right. Just because you're born a certain way doesn't mean you should, like, be belittled and treated like shit.
Right.
But there's still facts. There's still biological facts that play.
I agree.
And
this whole I identify as something that I wasn't naturally selected as, it baffles me. I don't get it. Like, if Dad said Trump says he only weighs 239 pounds, but I sort of doubt that.
He identifies as 230. He's transgravity.
Yeah, he's transgravity. But the sensitivity is getting out of hand because we keep erasing the line and redrawing it, erasing it and redrawing it. So Newsweek released a story this morning that there is a petition accusing Disney of colonialism and robbery because of the Hakuna Matata trademark. So everybody knows Hakuna Matata from Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. The article reads, the phrase Hakuna Matata, which was popularized by Disney's The Lion King in 1994, roughly translates to no problem in Swahili. However, Disney may not have no worries after the industry giant was slammed by a petition that accused the company of colonialism and robbery for trademarking the phrase. Disney first applied to have Hakuna Matata trademarked in 1994, but its request was later granted in 2003. Sheldon Mapala, a Zimbabwean activist, lodged a petition via Change.org against the Walt Disney Company ahead of the release of its anticipated live-action remake of The Lion King in July 2019. Mapala urged for people to sign his petition to say no to Disney or any corporation individuals looking to trademark languages, terms, or phrases they didn't invent. The word Hakuna means there is not here, while Matata means problems. Hakuna Matata has been used by most Kiswahili-speaking countries such as Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Mozambique, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Disney can't be allowed to trademark something that it didn't. In speaking with BBC on Tuesday, Mapala elaborated with his disdain for Disney's decision to trademark the catchphrase. He suggested he created the petition in hopes to sway Disney to reverse its action. That is so stupid to me. First of all, a U.S. trademark is not applicable in Africa.
Yeah, no shit.
So basically he's saying you guys in America can't let Disney do this. What is it doing to you? So Mele Kalikimaka, everybody in Hawaii needs to take that song back. And what's with the baby it's cold outside thing? I keep hearing about it. I keep wanting to look it out. There's this big controversy, and you know what?
I forget what it's about. One second. Continue.
Hey, Jazz. So, I'm looking this up for the first time. I have been avoiding it because I really like the song. I love the song. The holiday classic, Baby It's Cold Outside, has been removed from an Ohio radio station's playlist because of the controversy. Star 102 Cleveland said the song's lyrics may not be appropriate, especially in light of the Me Too movement. The song, written in 1944, includes lines normally sung by a woman, including Say, what's in this drink? And I simply must go, followed by the woman singing, the answer is no. Before making the decision, the radio station hosts asked listeners their thoughts of Baby It's Cold Outside. The DJ said listeners agreed that the song should be pulled. People might say, oh, enough with that hashtag me too, but if you really put aside and listen to the lyrics, it's not something I would want my daughter to be in that kind of situation. The tune might be catchy, but let's maybe not promote that sort of an idea. I do not think that what's in this drink means anything about any sort of roofie, people. That is ridiculous. Men have done it for decades. Women have done it for decades. You put a little bit of vodka in somebody's coffee and all of a sudden they're spending the night. It has happened over and over and over. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's wrong. If she said, what's in this drink? He let her know what's in the drink, or he let her know she shouldn't be driving. I simply must go, followed by the women singing, the answer is no. But then she changes her mind. That has gone both ways since the dawn of time. Adam said no to the forbidden fruit, and Eve got him to eat it anyways.
Yeah, it's been happening. It's still happening today. Just go to a strip club. Same thing.
To outlaw or to villainize this song because of what's going on in today's political climate, to me, is I just can't wrap my head around it.
Soon we're not going to be allowed to create art. We're not going to allow to be able to have opinions or podcast or do anything because everything is offensive, and we just need to stop.
What is playing? Oh, that. Dad said, I think maybe Mele Kalikimaka as a phrase precedent the song by, not so sure about my spelling, century or more. I think you spelled it correctly, and yes, it is precedented by a phrase, but the Hawaiian people can say we don't want any more haoles singing this song. Does that make any sense? You're stealing from our culture, white people. Give it back to us. Does that make any sense?
I mean, I'm sure if we thought hard enough, we could be like, oh, this culture is stealing from white people. Like, who cares?
And that bugs me just as much as, like, when you see a Caucasian male wearing hip-hop-ish clothing, and people are like, oh, he's trying to be black. What does be black mean?
So is Eminem not going to be allowed to rap anymore because he's stealing from a culture?
Apparently.
Yeah. Even though he's the best
so that means Elvis shouldn't have done rock and roll because he stole it from Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
And no country singer should be singing any kind of country, bluesy country, because they're stealing it from the people that were picking cotton in the fields in the South while they were picking the cotton.
Rich people aren't allowed to sing
as
country
being
either.
Owned by somebody else.
Rich people aren't allowed to sing country either because, it's like about the dog dying and wife leaving them.
Can we stop stereotyping people and just let people enjoy what they enjoy? Let people live the life the way they want to live it.
I thought we wanted diversity, and we're trying to take it away.
If you want to live as a woman, fine, live as a woman, but it doesn't give you any special rights.
Damn it, that was why I was going to become a woman.
Quit being so sensitive. If you want to wear a dress, fine. Society doesn't have the right to pick on you for it, and you don't have the right to say, well, I identify as a woman now, so you have to give me special treatment on ladies' night at the bar.
That's a good idea. We should try that.
It was tried in Seattle, and the bar rejected the man, and guess what the man was able to do?
Sue them?
Sue the bar. Because under Washington state law, it is illegal to treat a woman any differently than you would treat a man as a customer in a bar.
So Ladies' Night.
I think the song Baby It's Cold Outside was much more about the musical counterpoint than content. Oh, as far as the band? No, it's all about, the band is all about the content. Absolutely all about the content. People are all in her uproar because they're saying it suggests he put a roofie in her drink to get her to spend the night.
Even if he did, it's art.
Roofing women is not art.
No, I mean like the song.
Okay, thank you.
Not like actual. We're talking about like comparing art to real life.
Irving Berlin didn't have the right to turn Mele Kalikimaka into a white people Christmas song. Hawaiians should be outraged that white people are taking their culture. I'm saying. At least
I just feel like it's retarded.
It is.
Oh, you're not allowed
retarded.
to say that word anymore. Sorry, that word's banned.
Ridiculous. Oh wait.
No, you can't say retarded.
No, you can't say retarded.
So that doctor, he got banned off Twitter for using that word.
The definition of retarded doesn't mean people.
I know it's to retard a situation,
right?
But Twitter banned people for using the word retarded. You're not allowed to use that word. It's magical. There's words in our language that have magical special powers.
Bob Hope song that you're thinking of.
Did Heidi leave?
I'm not sure. May have. Let's look. Nope, Heidi's still here.
She hasn't commented in a while.
The 1944 Christmas tune, Baby It's Cold Outside. So
I thought they were talking about the Britney Spears song.
Well, I think Britney Spears remade it.
Oh, is that okay?
Michael Bublé has remade it.
Yeah.
So many people have redone this song throughout history. So many people. I'll read the lyrics. So it starts with a woman singing, I really can't stay. Then a man says, baby, it's cold outside. She says, I've got to go away. He says, baby, it's cold outside. She says, this evening has been. And he says, been hoping that you'd drop in. She says, so very nice. He says, I'll hold your hands. They're just like ice. So he wants to warm her hands up. She says, my mother will start to worry. He says, beautiful, what's your hurry? She says, my father will be pacing the floor. He says, listen to the fireplace roar. She says, so really I'd better scurry. He says, beautiful, please don't hurry. She says, well, maybe just a half a drink more.
5G
he says,
revolutionary in rural America.
Shut up the ad.
Students in remote.
And then he said,
5G is coming soon. Okay, continue.
Put some records on while I pour. So she is saying, maybe just a half a drink more. So she is saying, yes, you're talking me into staying here.
I mean, I could see how somebody could I mean, you could twist. It's all about intent, right? So like you could say the same thing, basically the identical thing, have completely two different intents, two different It's all about the intent.
Heidi said, "Can't one of you be the man?" So we can both pull up the lyrics and we'll serenade it to each other. Are you familiar with the tune?
Vaguely, but not probably well enough.
You got a tablet right there. Pull up the lyrics, bro. Let's do this.
Oh my God.
I really can't stay, baby. It's cold outside.
I don't know the tune.
Got to go away,
I'll just read
baby.
it.
It's cold outside. This evening has been hoping that you drop in.
It's called Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Dad said, no, don't do this.
It's called Baby.
Don't do this. Yeah, baby, it's cold outside. So she says, the neighbors might think. He says, baby, it's bad out there. She says, say, what's in this drink? He said, there's no cabs to be had out there. She said, I wish I knew how. He stops her and says, your eyes are like a starlight now.
Hold on.
Are we really? You're really looking this up?
I'm pulling up lyrics. Where are you at?
We can just restart it.
Oh.
I wish I could find a tune to go with it, but you want to do the
which one? So the parentheses is the girl.
The first line.
The parentheses are the guy.
You're looking at a different lyric page than me because I don't have parentheses.
Oh. So, I think it is. Yeah, I think the parentheses are the guy.
Which website are you looking the lyrics up on?
I just went to Google.
It's just Google. Well, no, don't do this. We're doing it, Dad. We're doing it, and we're gonna clip it, and it's gonna go viral.
It's just the Google.
You did, baby. It's cold outside lyrics.
Yeah. And then there's like an overview, and then I just tapped lyrics.
Oh, okay. There it is. There it is. So the parentheses are the guy.
Okay.
You gonna do the girl voice, or do I have to do the girl voice?
I mean, I'm not gonna do the girl voice.
You gotta.
Because
I'll do the girl voice.
Oh, okay.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Got to go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has
been hoping you'd be dropped in.
So very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they'll be like ice.
My mother will start to worry.
Beautiful that you're... Hurry?
What's your hurry?
What's your hurry?
My father will be pacing the floor.
Listen to the fireplace roar.
So really I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't hurry.
But maybe just a half a drink more.
I'll put some records on while I pour.
The neighbors might think.
Baby, it's cold out there.
Say, what's in this drink?
No carbs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how.
I'll take your hat.
No, your eyes.
Oh, wrong line. Sorry. Wrong line. My bad.
Dad said, are you guys really going to do that? So
your eyes
wish
are
I knew how.
Your eyes are like starlight now.
To break the spell.
I'll take your hat. Your hair looks swell.
I ought to say no, sir.
Mind if I move in closer?
At least I'm gonna say that I'm tired.
What's the sense of hurting my pride?
I really can't stay.
Baby, don't hold out.
Baby, it's cold outside.
And then that's what, like a bridge there?
Yes. I simply must go.
Baby, it's cold outside.
The answer is no.
But baby, it's cold outside.
Your welcome has been.
How lucky that you dropped in.
So nice and warm.
Looking out the window at the storm.
Dad says, see how you ignore the old man sometimes, but I must admit to the LOL. It's all for comedy. Where are we at? My sister will be suspicious.
Gosh, your lips look so delicious.
My brother will be there at the door.
Waves upon the tropical shore.
The maiden's aunt's mind is vicious.
Gosh, your lips are so delicious.
But maybe just a cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard before.
I've got to get home.
I don't even smoke. Baby, I'll freeze out there.
Say, lend me a coat.
It's up to your knees out there.
You've really been grand.
I feel when I touch your hand.
But don't you see?
How can you do the things to me?
There's bound to be talk tomorrow.
Think of my lifelong sorrow.
At least there will be plenty implied.
If you caught pneumonia and died,
I really can't stay.
get over.
Baby, it's
old
cold outside. You were supposed to sing the last line with me.
Oh, my bad.
We're supposed to harmonize that.
Oh.
Yes! We're not rapping
Wow.
it. We are not rapping it.
So I don't know the words
Nope.
clearly.
So
I've probably
basically, you
heard
can
that
see they're
song,
going
like,
back and forth throughout
twice
the
in my
entire
life.
song. She's trying to leave. He's trying to talk her into staying. At one point, she
date
says,
rape.
fine. Oh, yeah. What's in this drink? A roofie, dummy. And he was holding her hand, so he must have been hanging on to her and wouldn't let her go. So he forced her to stay.
I mean, should we ban the song just because it's about date rape?
That's what's the whole purpose. People are banning this song. That's the controversy.
Even if it is, hold on. Let's go look at half of Eminem's library. Let's go look at like 1,000 other artists that are saying 1,000 times worse shit. Shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I agree. Frosty the Snowman is soon going to be banned because he doesn't wear pants.
I mean, that was a pretty stupid song, so I'm okay with it. Just kidding.
Here, when I first got on, I thought H was talking about the actual temp outside below 40. Yeah, nope. Rape blows rape whistle. Heidi's blowing the rape whistle.
Wasn't me.
But what'd you put in this drink?
I mean, I'm hoping somebody put a roofie in my
So
drink.
there is a radio station. I don't know which. I'm gonna find it now. There's a radio station that played "Baby It's Cold Outside" straight for 48 hours, I think.
Good. That's something I would do.
Yeah, me too.
What?
Kentucky radio station certainly made its opinion over the controversial 1940 song "Baby It's Cold Outside." The program director of the Kentucky radio station, hold on, I'm pulling up the website, standing by the decision to play "Baby It's Cold Outside" on repeat during a 2-hour marathon on Sunday. Oh, only 2 hours? I would have played it for 2 days. Stop advertisements! You're going to get us in trouble. Speaking of getting in trouble, we already had a video taken off of YouTube because we played a MSNBC clip. So, and MSNBC, I'm sorry. I enjoy watching your programming, and most of the time, I agree with your opinions and views, and that's why I try to play like clips here and there, but I won't ever do it again. It's my sad face. We should serenade more often.
Sure.
Let's do it in auto-tune.
Okay, I don't see an auto tune around here, but all right.
Maybe someday. That is a song that's part of the Great American Songbook, so it's probably here to stay. Are you talking about "Baby It's Cold Outside"? But I've never figured I'd hear a version of that song that would actually make me laugh. There is not a version of that song that I have heard that I did not like. Even ours. And I'm going to make sure that we clip that and it goes viral. That'll be good to talk about.
Go ahead and you can clip that on Twitch.
Well, it is a trending topic and a huge controversy, so I guess after we're done, I'm going to have to go and clip that out and cut it up and add some overlays to it and put an intro and an outro and put it on YouTube with 1,000 keywords. Where's Michael at when we need him? Again, happy birthday, Anthony. Anthony decided not to show up today. I thought he was like...
So we need a video editor, clearly, here.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to be a video editor here, to go through the shows and chop sections out. Oh, you are recording. Good.
Yes, I am recording. There's probably other songs in the Great American Songbook that somebody has a problem with because we live in an uber-sensitive society. Just saying. Just saying.
I nominate Heidi to edit our videos.
Does she know how?
I have no idea.
We can just start emailing her everything, and she can edit it, and then she can...
It wouldn't be email. It'd be a lot bigger.
It'll work.
Do you know how big the file is?
Yeah, but Google Drive can send it.
No, not unless you pay for extra. You don't have space.
I bet it could. Or we can put them on a thumb drive, and you can take them to her.
Yeah.
Every Saturday, and then she can go and chop them up Sunday, and then put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Good idea. Thanks for volunteering, Heidi. We appreciate that. Are you taking suggestions so you can sing them? Well, Sean is going to give you a crash course on editing.
I don't even know if she has a computer, for that matter.
Sean's going to buy you a computer and then give you a crash course on editing.
So Paul is full of shit.
It happens once in a while. And then I go poop. Whoa. I'm scrolling down Facebook like I always do when we get around the 1 minute and 21 mark, trying to figure out what we're going to talk about for another 10 minutes to half hour, because we try to keep this over an hour and a half. Dozens of women have sent love letters to Chris Watts, the man who murdered wife and 2 daughters. And the headline says, one woman wrote, "In my heart, you are a great guy. If you do write me back, I'd be the happiest girl alive. That's for sure." Now, think of the irony, Sean.
Sorry, what'd you say?
So this guy is in prison, Chris Watts, because he killed his wife and 2 daughters.
Okay, yeah.
Dozens of women have been sending him love letters while he's in prison.
So that's pretty common for like crazy
Oh,
killers.
it is common.
Yeah.
But listen to this caption.
Heidi sends like 20 different killers she sends letters to all the time.
She's got a whole slew of...
like 20 of them.
Okay.
Right, Heidi?
Well, here's a quote that one woman wrote in one of his letters.
We got a prank call coming in. Or not a prank call, but
Yeah?
maybe. We'll find out.
Has passed, but luckily, that doesn't mean you'll be without coverage this year. New laws in place still allow you to get an affordable health insurance plan from an A-rated insurer.
All right, that's not going to be fun. Continue.
Oh, man.
It was just a...
Yes, Dad, you can bring your piano in. We'll clear off the table over there, and you can play Christmas music live.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. So this caption, this man, Chris Watts, who is in prison for murdering his wife and 2 daughters, one of the women in her letters wrote, "In my heart, you are a great guy. If you do write me back, I'd be the happiest girl alive. That's for sure." Oh, the irony.
That's
The man
funny.
that killed his wife and 2 kids, but you'd be the happiest girl alive if he wrote you back.
I don't know what it is with like women going after like psychos and killers on.
I can't talk about. I don't want to bring up my ex-wife, so I can't talk about personal experience when it comes to women sending men in prison letters. But I don't understand. I just don't get it either. I'm with you. I don't understand it, especially married women.
It's funny is that what's trending topic on Twitter, the video that we showed of the package thief thing is trending on there today.
The glitter video?
Yeah. I was just looking up looking for trending things. There's just a lot of stupid crap on here.
So a week ago, Trump said he would be proud to take the responsibility for the government shutdown if they didn't approve the budget wall. But this morning he went on Twitter and said it's the Democrats' fault if the government shuts down. So make up your mind, Führer-in-Chief. I mean, President Donald Trump. Let's see what the border wall GoFundMe is at now. What was that at when we started?
12 punt something million.
Too bad we don't have a meter on our screen that can just track it. You said it was at 12?
We should set up a Patreon and then do...
It's now at 12,634,541.
Still at 12 million?
Yeah. It's gained a few thousand since we started. God, there's a lot of dumb people in America.
There's a lot of dumb people in the world.
That's true, but America is just getting dumber and dumber and becoming the laughing stock of the globe.
Another Bad Boys is coming out, by the way.
I heard about that. Oh, and let me see if I can find it. Remember we went over the big Will Smith uproar yesterday? Mm-hmm. He did, apparently, he tweeted or Instagrammed it. That those pictures were for just photo op purposes only, and the actual...
Oh, did he show like what it'll actually look like? Ish?
I don't think he showed, but he did
Explain.
Confirm that it's going to be CG.
So is it just his voice?
Yes.
I'm
not sure Trump right now is concerned he's being upstaged by Jesus
I think
Christ.
it would be good just to have him be like those pictures. Like I think it would be. I don't see anything wrong. First off, the pictures, I don't think it would be bad. I think it would be kind of cool.
I think it would be horrible.
Why does it have to be the same
But
as some other shit?
I'm a classic Disney fan. So to take something that's supposed to be a cartoon character, like overly not dramatic. What's the word I'm looking for? Overly animated cartoon character and put it into a human, it just...
You know, if you want an overly animated human, who like I don't know if he would be good at it anymore. Like, might be too old to play the part, but Jim Carrey.
I hate Jim Carrey.
I know, but I mean, he's very overly animated.
His voice, he would make a good genie. You're right.
I think he would fit the role well.
But like,
I think Will Smith,
just like I was talking about with Jungle Book, you couldn't have had a person play Baloo or Bagheera or King Louie. But the people that did...
But those are actually animals, aren't they?
Genie was actually a genie. He's not an actual person.
But a genie is like a...
He didn't even have feet most of the time.
Yeah, but...
He was a cloud.
He's human-esque.
He's human-esque, but okay, that would be like a human playing Casper the Friendly Ghost.
That you could pull off.
No.
Yeah, I would be
Casper
okay with.
Casper can't walk.
I would be okay with... Because, I mean, look at like...
I would not.
Look at like the Christmas ghosts and shit. Well, from what movie is that?
A Christmas Carol, but that's an old story that's been passed down and changed and redone.
Yeah, boy,
thousands of times, and each time it's a real person. Casper the Friendly Ghost. When you think of Casper the Friendly Ghost, you think of this blob with arms and a little skinny tail.
Do. But it
wouldn't be right if Casper had feet.
I could see a creative director being like, let's change it up. I mean, we could still, with say CG, you could have him kind of morph back and forth in different shots.
I would be disappointed.
I would just look at it as a creative choice.
Well, I would look at it as a creative ruin.
See, just let it be what it wants to be. Gosh, you're like one of those movie critics that complain about superhero movies. Like,
I never complained about a superhero movie.
I know, but it's the same. There's a lot of people, the same train of thought. Like, so it's the same train of thought why people like complain about superhero movies is the same train of thought you have because it's like not how it was. You know what I mean? Like, you expect it to be this way because you have a preconceived notion of like based on previous versions that you've seen, whether it be comic books, movies, TV shows, etc., that you want it to be that way. And like with superhero movies, when people like complain about like Superman movies or, oh, it's not like the comics. It's not the fucking comics. It's a different movie. It's a different like take on it.
Dad said, so when I was a kid, my mom took me to a play of Peter Pan who was flying around the stage a lot. Peter Pan should be flying a lot. Should be. So this report that came out Yahoo Movies actually says, hoping to calm things on the internet down a bit, Will Smith has confirmed that his genie in Disney's live-action remake of Aladdin will be blue after all. The first look at Smith and his co-stars Mina Massoud and Naomi Scott was unveiled on the cover at Entertainment Weekly in the US yesterday, but fans of the original movie were quick to note that Smith appeared to not be glowing a shade of iridescent blue. Posting to Facebook, he said, "Bam! First look at Genie, Princess Jasmine, and Aladdin. Check me rocking the top knot ponytail vibes in Entertainment Weekly. And yes, I'm gonna be blue. This is how the Genie is in human disguise form. My character will be CGI most of the movie." So I'm okay with that. If it was just Will Smith as that character we saw yesterday the whole time, I would not be okay with that. I would be disappointed.
I think it would also depend on like the look of the entire film. You know what I mean? Like there's times where you're gonna like take a different artistic direction, and if the overall, it just depends on how the overall look of the film is, like how the characters fit in within that world. So that's my take on it. So did you hear about this is a common problem for YouTubers, like for big ones. So a beauty YouTuber, it's I think a trans person, James Charles, he was pleading with fans to stop coming to his house. So there's been and this has been like a semi-common problem for most or a lot of big YouTubers, and so kids and people just show up at his door, like knock and ring the doorbell and stuff. Try and say hi, get a signature, a photo op. Like even parents driving their children to this person's house and waiting outside while their children run up and trying to get photo ops with this famous YouTuber. So he was pleading with.
That's a good point, Sean, and Biggs, you make good points too. Sean and I are very good at disagreeing and getting our points across and agreeing to disagree at the end of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. I was
Continue, please.
I was thinking. I was reading too.
We don't always disagree.
But yeah, try to think of some other. Philip DeFranco's had it happen. It actually happened. Philip DeFranco had when they were at their previous office that they're at now, they had somebody just walk into their office and he literally walked in while Philip DeFranco was filming a segment for the show. Walked in on set. Just some random person off the street that wanted to say hi to him, found where he worked, just walked in through the building, found where he was filming, just walked in while he was filming his video for the news show that he does. And he showed a clip. Philip DeFranco showed a clip of him popping in can I help you? And he's just, it's kind of this dangerous situation. You don't know these people, and they're just random people off the internet that if they're gonna hunt you down to say hi, you don't know. They may be just they're not gonna cause you any harm or anything, but you don't know. It could, but it's inappropriate.
You know what's funny about humanity, maybe just American humanity, or especially American humanity, we kind of adapt to boundaries. When you're at a concert, you can't go backstage unless you have that little pass. You know how many times I have just casually walked right by security, not having a pass, at concerts all over this country? Mm-hmm. Because I just, I'm there for a reason. I'm there as part of the tour, but I don't even have my pass showing.
Yeah.
And because you're just so confident about it, you're just so nonchalant about it, you just walk like it's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
They don't even think to stop you.
It happens all the time.
And I've been on video shoots in Southern California where the same thing happened. There'd been nightclubs that were rented for a certain scene, for a Dre's shoot or an Eminem shoot or Snoop shoot, and somebody would just walk in they're part of they're a cast member. Nobody's there. There's security everywhere, but nobody stops him. What if somebody walked in on a 50 Cent video shoot and decided to walk right up to him, pull a pistol out, shoot him in the face?
Yeah.
As long as you walk in with the confidence and you're nonchalant about it, they don't question it. It's goofy.
It's just what we do as human beings. Like, oh, they look like they're supposed to be here.
Right.
They don't look confused. They don't look. It's interesting. A lot of people that behave that way, or that have ill intent, do have weird like mannerisms that usually stick out. Most people, unless they're like highly intelligent and understand like human behavior, but very few people do.
Heidi said sounds like a good idea.
So my website's not even up, so that's kind of an invalid thing.
Yeah, well.
You know, it will be at some point.
It will be eventually.
But yeah, it's just funny how many like YouTubers talk about this problem. Like, it's kind of over the last few years, YouTubers have become almost equals with like mainstream famous. You know, I mean, there's obviously a difference, like mega famous, like a Will Smith or, you know, somebody like that. But some of these YouTubers are like elevating themselves to. I mean, look at PewDiePie. What does he have? Like 80 million followers on YouTube now? 77 million or something?
Let's look him up.
Like, arguably, you could say he's one of the top celebrities on the planet.
Yeah.
And mainstream media goes after him all the time for any little thing that...
He's at 77,821,234 subscribers.
It's insane. And what's funny...
And they're in a live sub count competition between PewDiePie and T-Series right now. You know about that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
And T-Series is at 70,332,652. So PewDiePie is just over 100,000 ahead right now. Dad and Heidi are both like, who? PewDiePie is this big YouTube content creator that is...
He makes... PewDiePie was in a major controversy about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, regarding Nazi crap. So he was making jokes, like he was pointing out like the ridiculousness of certain like Nazi and Hitler references and things, and like making fun of it more than anything. And one of the things he got in trouble for was he went on Fiverr and was paying people to like hold up ridiculous signs and dance. And remember this? He had somebody from some third world country, probably like I think Africa or someplace over there that don't speak very good English.
I just looked up his earnings or how much he makes. That was updated October 2nd, 2018. So we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah. So these people were holding up cardboard signs that said "We love Nazis" or something along those lines, and he got in trouble. Mainstream media attacked him for this, and so he lost his YouTube Red series, Scare PewDiePie. So YouTube is like almost like a TV network now. They're so big. I mean, they're beyond that, but because YouTube is owned by Google and so on and so forth. But so
YouTube Player is in everything.
Yeah, and so. He had a series, a YouTube premium series called Scare PewDiePie, I think it was what it was called. And they were filming the second or third season of it. And they shut it down because these mainstream medias were going after him, saying PewDiePie was a Nazi supporter and all this stuff. So they dropped him, and they took him off like preferred branding, I think, for a little while, and a few things. So they're like, oh, PewDiePie is going down. It's going to be the end of his career. Well, what's funny is all that attention, because I think he was at like 50 million or something like that, or 40 or 50 million at the time, subscribers. He blew up even more. He became even richer because the mainstream media attacked him. He's like almost bulletproof. Like him and like guys like, what's his face? The Paul brothers. The hell's their names? One of the dead body in Japan forest.
I'm not familiar with that.
Gosh. One sec. I will find out. It's on the tip of my tongue, and Logan Paul. Like another big YouTuber. Like same type of thing. Like happened to him. He got bigger after after mainstream media attacked him for the. Like they're just using they're taking these negative things or whatever and they're catapulting them even higher to make even more money and be even bigger stars. From I don't know what my point was originally, but yeah. Anyway, you were looking up what he made.
This is updated October 2nd, 2018. To keep it short, here's the average earnings that PewDiePie makes per video, month, year, and his net worth. If you would like to see how he came to these numbers, you can read the full breakdown below. I'm not going to care about all that. PewDiePie's average earning per video. What do you think it is? Many say any publicity is good publicity. There's no such thing as bad press.
Probably.
Especially in today's world.
Somewhere, give or take, probably $50,000 per video, give or take 10 to 20,000 maybe, depending on how big it blows up.
21.
Okay. So
21,000 per video, but that could be that's a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
A 5-minute video.
Yeah.
That he puts on YouTube, and
I don't know how
the earnings average earnings is 21,000. So that means there's some that are 5,000, some that are 150,000.
Thousands of videos too.
Right. His average earnings per month is 940,000. Average earnings per year is 11.28 million, and his net worth right now, well, as of October, is 85 million.
He started. What he does is he plays video games and does video game reviews. Just so you guys know. And I mean, he does like skits and other weird things too, but he's a YouTuber.
Right.
He's worth gaining on $100 million. How does that make you feel about your life?
It's like anything. When you get in on the ground level, and
he didn't even get on the ground level. Not even close.
No, he's been doing it for a while, though.
Yeah, about 6 years, I think.
I watched a few things. I agree, Anthony. What up? Happy birthday, Anthony. I watched a few things, and I do agree that he's not that funny, or is he just... He did the right things to position himself with.
He makes a lot of videos.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. He just does a ton of content, and he has enough followers that.
And he does a lot. He does like goofy video game stuff. Like he'll play like weird video games and make them do weird shit, and whatever he finds humorous.
His description on YouTube is, I play videos.
I don't like your T-Series.
Like, he did a T-Series diss track that's called Bitch Lasagna 2 months ago, and it has 75,144,075 views. And the song is now on Spotify and iTunes, so he's making money through both of those, too, because people are downloading it. It's probably the stupidest song in the world. The money comes from YouTube. It comes from paid subscribers. It comes from a variety of places.
Not to mention like sponsored content and
right.
And because he's a big YouTuber, he gets the premium ads. So the companies that are willing to pay the most per ads, he gets a much higher rate and percentage of the cut.
So, Dad, you know how when you watch a YouTube video, sometimes there's an advertisement on it. He's big enough that he gets a percentage of the money. In fact, he's so big, it's probably a pretty good chunk. But
it's about 40%.
He gets revenue. He gets paid every time a commercial is viewed while somebody is watching his channel.
And like the premium ads, they'll pay like sometimes upwards of, depending on what the ad is for, sometimes upwards of $100 per view of ad. So like a company will pay, some like the lower companies will pay cents per view, and then up to dollars, but the high end's like $100, or I've even in years past I saw a few, because you could see there was at one point in time
he averages 1 or 2 videos a day.
Yeah.
posting. I'm looking at his video playlist right now.
So if you're getting like $20-$30 per view of an ad, it's a shitload of money really fast.
Yeah, it's incredible. We average about 25 cents per stream. He averages about 21 million.
So,
cents.
well, like most people that are building channels, it doesn't matter the platform, they won't have any.
Anthony said $100 a view. No way. PewDiePie makes averages $21,000 per video.
And like almost and like 900 and something thousand per month.
Right.
So yeah, a few videos a day.
It's ridiculous. And those numbers are just going to go up. At this point, he's not going to bottom line. If he stops putting videos out, he might become irrelevant. But as long as he goes online for 10 minutes every day and says, hey to his viewers, hi friends, guess what I did today? I ate lasagna and then I had a tummy ache, so I puked it up. Want to see? And then he could show a picture of it, and boom, 50 million views in about a week.
True story.
This is what America is built on now.
He's actually from the UK. He doesn't even live in the US. All of his videos have millions of views.
It is not impossible to pay him $100 per view because a lot of people skip them and don't even watch the commercial. So, you don't know how YouTube calculates, Anthony, so quit pretending like you do. Sean's the fucking genius.
So, I'm not saying he makes $100 per... I'm saying that there are premium ads at certain companies will pay up to or beyond $100 per viewer to see their thing. So, they'll pay like that per view. PewDiePie probably gets around 40% based on the information and things that I've read. About 40% of the ad revenue that's brought in, you know, what they call CPM. About 40% of that. And, yeah. It's not impossible.
Well, this says... Here's another report that says, with an average of 180 million views per month and earnings of $7.50 per 1,000 views, we can then use this formula to calculate his average monthly earnings. So,
yeah, and the number that I'm saying is based on the last time I saw, as I was saying before, when I saw, because at one point you could kind of see it in the AdWords, and like, so you could act when you're like, say you wanted to publish in your own ad, Google AdWords and AdSense, they're kind of like, AdSense is where you get paid from, AdWords is where you pay to send out ads on YouTube and websites and stuff of that nature, and like Google search results, etc.
Here's another website. So most persons that know PewDiePie are his teenage fan base. If you ask anyone over 30, sometimes even over 25, who this YouTube sensation is, the most you'll get is a scratch in the head. Even if they do know him, following him may not seem like the thing an older person would want to do. In short, PewDiePie has made an impression in the minds of his teenage viewers as an internet sensation. A man whose fortune is correlative to his fame, and since he created his YouTube channel in 2010, his net worth has always been increasing.
Well, so one thing to the smart YouTubers target the younger demographics because they have time to sit there and watch YouTube videos all day long, over and over and over and over again. Like older people, we don't have time to watch 12 hours of YouTube a day.
Right. Kids
do. That's why a lot of people would make kid content, or like, remember the Elsa Gate controversy? Basically, it was like Adpocalypse 2.0 or 3.0, whatever the hell it was at that point. So, like, Elsa Gate, people were making these inappropriate children videos that would get watched over and over and over again on YouTube Kids platform by kids. Like, so, like, my nephew, he watches YouTube Kids, so because he's autistic, he'll just watch the same video over and over and over again.
Right.
So there's an app called YouTube Kids, and it's supposed to be designed...
Even just a kid in mind. Amaya could watch the same video 3 times a day.
Yeah. And so they'll watch, and they'll just keep scrolling, and you'll get caught in these algorithms. So these videos will keep popping up, like they'll watch like 20 videos and then they might cycle back to the beginning or whatever, but they're all roughly the same content, or at least they'll start cycling into similar content. So if you're a YouTube creator creating 50 videos a month of dressing up as children's characters like from Disney or whatever and acting out scenes, and then you're being goofy and whatever, right. Kids will watch that and they'll just watch it all day long. And parents, this is a new babysitting tool for parents. Here, watch YouTube.
Yep.
I have YouTube Kids. And
yep.
so they get their videos on kid-friendly type of thing, and boom. But they were making all these crazy, inappropriate videos of like sexualizing and violence and shit.
I had to take YouTube off of the tablet because I'd be listening in, even though she's watching YouTube Kids. There was this one video, and she has got this obsession with Santa Claus. Anything Santa Claus, she's studies the North Pole and studies all of these videos. Well, there was this one it was Santa Cat. So they were claiming that it was Santa Claus's cat, and it was in the litter box, and they're like, look, oh, Santa Kitty taking shits in the cot and making almond roca for the kids' stockings. Taking shits in the cat, and it's on YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
Like, YouTube does not filter it very well.
I mean, I don't blame YouTube. Like, I mean, really,
I don't either.
It's impossible to you would have to hire you'd have to have 20 million employees.
Right.
You couldn't possibly run the business and make money and have it just mathematically does not work out. Not even close.
With the amount of content that's being uploaded every second.
And then how much people are willing to pay for advertisement. It doesn't work out.
Before we close this PewDiePie chapter, just another paragraph. Other earnings of PewDiePie. Money Nations, one of the ardent followers of the superstar's success, says that PewDiePie made up to $144 million on his channel, but this could only amount for part of his significant income and sourced where he got his other earnings from, merchandising. From his merchandise earning, he made over $42 million and $5.8 million from the real investment. His merchandise included t-shirts, hats, and hoodies, amongst others. In 2015, PewDiePie even wrote a book ranking him at number 1 as the young adult reader in the bestsellers list of the New York Times. He released a mobile game that was downloaded in huge amounts by his fans. But his income puts him in a top tax bracket of up to 50%. PewDiePie's annual salary is $12 million, making him as much as $3,400 per hour. That's a lot. Compared to safe jobs like doctors who make $94 per hour or teachers who get paid $28, this YouTube channel gig seems to be working for PewDiePie. Sure does. Must be nice.
You can do it too.
You know, I don't think I'm going to become a teen sensation on YouTube.
Just saying. Just got to put lots of content. Put out 20,000 videos. Hard not to be seen.
That's gonna take a long time. Yeah. You know, and I actually, once we get our schedule and stuff formatted, and I learn how to YouTube directly from Streamlabs, I wouldn't mind setting up multiple camera angles and putting toys on the table and just letting Amaya play. Because you can do that on YouTube. You can't do that on Twitch, but you can do that on YouTube.
Oh, you can use a Restream to stream to both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously.
But you can't put a 6-year-old on Twitch.
No, I know that. But I'm saying, if you wanted to stream to YouTube simultaneously,
right,
you can just use Restream.
You can, but I think that goes against Twitch. It's a Twitch violation.
Tons of people do it.
I'm sure they do. I don't doubt that. But I'm just trying to play by the book right now. Once we get partnered, I won't care. Because once you
partner, you can do that.
Once you're partnered, they pretty much act like they don't care about the rules. You know how often I watch partnered channels that somebody's just sitting there going through music and playing licensed music?
I think it really comes down to just I think it's almost random, kind of. Or just
I do too.
What's egregious? I think it's more of what's egregious. Or somebody's doing something ridiculous, it gets called out. But
well, we've had videos where obviously we've had music muted. I looked at your video yesterday when you were recording me DJing. Not a single piece of it has been muted yet. But there was a time where I set up the turntables in here when we first started doing live stuff, and I was mixing. No, it was. I think it was at Three Monkeys, or maybe even Lindo's, El Chorrito, one of the two. Not El Chorrito, Los Dos. So many Mexican places. And I set up my camera, and as soon as I was done, like, there were huge muted sections throughout it. It didn't mute the whole thing, but they were like giant muted. Most of it, probably 90% was muted.
Interesting.
But on your video, none of it has. So I'm wondering, since there's going to start doing the Twitch Sings, the Twitch Karaoke, if they have developed some sort of relationship with the RIAA or ASCAP that are kind of, so they can kind of
maybe
get by a lot of that stuff. They just haven't announced it because they don't want people to end up creating their 24/7 music channels, because that's going to be a big headache. You know how many people will just put in their own iTunes playlist and run it 24 hours just so they could have their channel on? That'll happen.
Artists do it now already,
right?
If they're
actually some of the people that are doing it now are
usually their own music.
Kind of, it's either their own music or it's endorsed by Twitch somehow. Like Rhyme Sayers has a partnership with Twitch. Pretzel Rocks has a partnership with Twitch. Even that is a Monster Cat.
Yeah,
that's the one that you had hosting, right?
Maybe
back when you were doing ice cream. Anytime I would go to your channel, or you would log off, and it'd switch to somebody else's music player. They had some sort of backdoor agreement with Twitch, because I see their name everywhere. They're on Twitch, on Mixer. It's like an official music background page somehow. Yeah. So I'm wondering if everything on Monster Cat is original material. It's all stuff that Monster Cat produced.
Maybe. Not sure.
Which makes me wonder why anytime Deadmau5 isn't live doing something, why doesn't he just have his own playlist playing through? It would make sense to me.
Yeah, true story.
But with the fact that music isn't being muted as much as it used to be, Twitch probably doesn't want to come out and say, well, you can play whatever music you want now, because then everybody, it's gonna be bombarded. It's gonna be worse than women in scantily clad outfits just to get views.
Damn it!
Then we really won't be able to get anybody watching us.
I need to wear scantily clad clothing.
Yes, you do. So we've been live for 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 35 seconds. I think it's pretty safe to call it quits.
Yeah.
It's 12. Thanks for tuning into FunkShop TV. This is the Daily Funk with Biggs and Sean. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that heart up there. If you are an Amazon Prime member, make sure that you link your Amazon Prime and your Twitch. Give us a subscription, because subscriptions keep us going, because there's other gear that we have to buy to keep going, and there's a lot of stuff that we have to do to keep the ball rolling, and it all lands on Sean's shoulders right now, because I don't want to do any video editing. But I'm going to learn how, and I'm going to force myself to. So thanks for tuning in. I'm sure we'll be back maybe tomorrow at some point. Maybe tonight. It's this evening. I got to work tonight, so I won't be back tonight. Maybe this afternoon before I go to work. Maybe tomorrow afternoon. Most likely Sunday afternoon. And then we'll be back Monday for the Daily Funk with Biggs and Sean at 10 a.m. Oh, snap.
True story.
I didn't look for anybody that we can raid. I am not raiding anybody scantily clad today. Holy crap. Somebody is showing straight up porn on their Twitch right now. Straight up against the law porn.
Just a little porn.
Yeah, look.
I mean, that could be just a thumbnail.
Well,
Pretty much.
I'm willing to bet it's a thumbnail of whatever they're playing. Let's go find somebody. Let's see. This guy's got a American flag in the background. He's got a beard. He looks like a Trumpian. I'm not raiding that one. Here's a guy that looks like he's the name is Hellblind. Oh, I was gonna say there's somebody in a priest uniform. I don't want to mess with that. That's a little weird. Dum 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 dum. was weird. Let's go check out Day Shot. And we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Adios, muchachos.